Welcome to the channel. Today we journey back over a century to tell the stories of three brave men who gave their lives during the First World War. These men served with the 1st Battalion of the Leicestershire Regiment, a unit with a proud and distinguished history. Originally raised in 1688, the battalion fought in the Napoleonic Wars, in India and in the Second Afghan War. When the Great War erupted in 1914, the battalion was among the first to land in France, arriving on the 9th of September. They were quickly thrown into the Battle of the Aisne. Over the course of the war, 1st Battalion would lose more than 950 men. Today, we remember three of them: Private John Goadby, Private James Greasley, and Second Lieutenant Levi Faulks. Their stories deserve to be heard. Levi Fox was born in 1880 in Earl Shilton in Leicestershire, the son of Joseph and Mary Faulks. Before the war, he worked as a shoe hand, a trade common in the area. In January 1908, he married Agnes Caroline Boone. His military career began much earlier. He joined the colours in November 1898 and served across the Empire, including Egypt, Ireland and South Africa. He was awarded a medal with 3 bars for his service and rose through the ranks to become a sergeant. At the time of his death, he had served over 17 years in the army. On the 29th of July 1915, Faulks arrived in France to join the British Expeditionary Force. His leadership qualities earned him a commission in 1917. On the 14th of April 1918, during the German Spring Offensive, Faulks was leading his platoon in trenches north of Neuve-Eglise in Belgium. While preparing a new position under heavy shell and machine gun fire, he was struck and killed instantly by enemy fire. He was 38 years old. In a letter to his widow, Lieutenant Colonel Latham wrote, "Dear Mrs. Faulks, I am very sorry that I have to inform you that your husband was killed in action on the 14th of April, north of Neuve-Eglise. He was killed instantaneously by a bullet from an enemy machine gun. At the time, your husband was commanding his platoon, who were digging in a new position. Your husband impressed me as an excellent officer, always doing his work well, sound and steady under fire." Sadly, Second Lieutenant Levi Faulks' body was never recovered, and is commemorated on the Tyne Cot Memorial to the missing. James Greasley was born on the 7th of February 1874 in Leicester, the son of George and Fanny Greasley. He married Sarah Jane Pickin in 1896, and the couple had one daughter. Despite being 40 years old, a senior by volunteer standards, he enlisted on the 31st of August 1914. Greasley arrived in France on the 11th of January 1915, joining the BEF. He served in nearly every major engagement the 1st Battalion faced: the winter operations around Richebourg, Neuve-Chapelle, Aubers Ridge, Festubert, the long trench-holding campaigns at Givenchy and Quincy, and the Battle of Loos. In 1916, during the Battle of the Somme, Greasley took part in the assault at Flers-Courcelette, the first battle to see tanks in action. On the 15th of September, the battalion advanced under a creeping barrage towards the German third lines near Le Boeufs. Facing brutal machine gun fire and artillery, they took over 400 casualties. Among them was Private James Greasley, who was killed in action at the age of 42. His body was sadly never recovered, and is commemorated on the Thiepval Memorial to the missing. The family placed a memorial at the family grave at Saffron Hill Cemetery, but curiously it states he was killed in action at Ypres, suggesting that the family may never have learned the true details of his death. John Goadby was born in 1894 in Hinckley, Leicestershire, the son of James and Mary Jane Goadby. He joined the army before the war and initially served with the Warwickshire Regiment, from 1911 before transferring to the Leicestershire Regiment. He was stationed in Ireland when war broke out. On the 9th of September 1914, Goadby arrived in France as one of the first members of the battalion to join the war. During the Battle of the Aisne, the battalion was holding the village of Vendresse. On the 22nd of September, a German artillery barrage rained down on their position, causing numerous casualties. Among the dead was Private John Goadby, who was just 20 years old. He was one of the first men from the battalion to be killed. Reports of his death reached his family through a wounded comrade who stated that a shell had killed him. The exact nature of his wounds were reported in the newspaper, but typical of the brutal realities of early World War I combat. Private John Goadby now lies at rest in Vailly British Cemetery, alongside 699 other servicemen of the First World War. These were 3 stories out of nearly 1,000 men lost from the 1st Battalion, Leicestershire Regiment during the Great War. Each name on a memorial, each headstone in a cemetery represents a life once lived, a family left behind. By remembering men like Levi Fox, James Greasley and John Goadby, we ensure their sacrifices are not forgotten. If you found this video meaningful, please consider subscribing, liking or sharing to help keep their memories alive. And if you have stories of your own family's wartime service, feel free to share them in the comments. Thanks for watching, lest we forget. If you like listening to the stories of the history of those who came before, then please give the video a like and subscribe to keep updated about future videos of the history of those who came before.